Okay, let's look at a tricky example, exercise 1.3, which will require the use of all the rules we've seen so far. The first thing we need to do is remove the epsilon productions, and we'll do that by identifying all the nullable symbols. So immediately, it looks like K and E and G are nullable because they can produce epsilon directly. M is also nullable because it produces only nullable symbols, and that's not true for any of the other symbols. So those are the only nullable ones. So to remove the epsilon productions, we do the same as we did before. So we remove all the productions that directly produce epsilon, and then we have to add new productions. We take the odd ones and we remove every combination with or without nullable variables. So we could have CK, or we could have C by itself. We could have BG or B by itself, AE or A by itself. And then for M, we have to do all the combinations. But we can't have nothing because that would be another epsilon production. So we can have KE, or we can have K, or we can have E. And that's it. Now all the epsilon productions are removed. So the next thing to do is to identify and remove unit productions. There's only one. K goes to E. So we remove it and replace with everything E could turn into. I also missed these ones down here that were introduced. We have to get rid of those too. So I replace K with everything K can be, and E with everything E can be. Note that these are really a whole set of productions, right? So when we union two sets, we don't contain duplicates, so we really shouldn't write the duplicates down. So I shouldn't write the A twice. So next we need to remove useless symbols. So we need to identify all the non-generating and all the non-reachable symbols. So what strings can't produce anything? Well, G and E and R and K can all produce strings directly, so they're fine. M can also produce strings directly, so that's okay. S can produce things that can produce strings, that's alright. So it looks like the only culprits here are D, because you can never get rid of the D, and F. And F is fine because F produces G and G can produce B. So it's only D that's a problem. So we need to remove all the non-generating symbols, so in this case just D. We also need to remove any production that contains D, so there's only one up over here. Now that that's dealt with, we need to remove all the non-reachable symbols. So what's reachable? Well, S can go to RKD or RKE. Oh, there's a D there, we forgot to delete that, we'll delete that as well. There we go. So RKE, so this one, this one, this one are reachable. And can I get to M from any of these? It doesn't look like it. Can I get to G from any of these? No, and I can't get to F either. So F and M and G are all now unreachable, so we throw them all out. So this is what we're left with. So now what we have to do is we have to create new symbols for the non-terminals. So we have A's and B's here, so we have to add productions for those, A to A, B to B. We have C's here, so we add another symbol for that, C goes to C. And then we rewrite all of the strings that are longer than a single token using our new non-terminal symbols. Note that I didn't need to rewrite all of them. K goes to little c and K goes to little a, and E goes to little a. These are already valid productions in Chomsky normal form, so they do not need to be replaced. So the last thing to do is to break up the larger productions into shorter productions. So instead of S goes to R, C, K, E, we can write S goes to RS1, S1 goes to C, S2, and S2 goes to K, E. And then we rinse repeat for all the other productions. And there we go. You'll note that K and E didn't have to change because their productions were already in the correct form. But for S and R, we had to break them up into all in little steps. Also, you'll note that if I was being a little clever, I could reuse something that I've already used before. Because these two parts here match, when we create the new symbols for them, we could just reuse the same symbols before. So instead of making a new symbol here, R4, I could just use R2 against twice and save a symbol. And there we go. That's my new grammar converted into Chomsky normal form.